Hey. What's up? I said I'll be back today. I'm back. Today, as you can see, I got on my Panthers shirt. I think I probably wear athletic, some type of shirt most days. And I got my fall is for football cup. Currently drinking some tea, burdock root. We'll talk about that probably in another video. But my video for today, I just wanted to share a little bit about my journey. Of course, so much went on during the last 2 years, of course, with the pandemic and everything. And with so much happening in the world, I just kind of felt like it was no time better than the present. And I just kind of wanted or decided that I wanted to actually learn how to invest. And so that is what I did, especially like with all the stuff that was going on. And so I kind of self-taught myself. And then, as I learned more, I kind of found places that actually had courses available, and I signed up and I started taking courses. And so I'm pretty freaking excited about it. Okay. And a lot of people been asking me questions, and I'm always hesitant because I feel like I don't know all that everybody, because I'm not like, I don't consider myself to be a guru, a trading guru, but needless to say, or nonetheless, I'm here to help you, to tell you what I know, what I don't know, and what I think may be beneficial to you or where you can get started. I like to say maybe this is like the kind of like I don't want to say stocks 101, but like just some things you might want to know to help you on your journey, at least things that I feel like I should have known more of, kind of help me on my journey, where to get started, where to go, those kind of things. So it is a beautiful day. I feel really amazing. I woke up this morning and I told myself I just kind of want to lay here because I'm off today, and then I was like, no, I got to get up and do something. And then I'm like looking at the market, and the market is like all over the place, up, down, all around, because there are so many things that kind of dictate the market. Um, and and I just wanted to basically, kind of give my experience. And so I just kind of started sharing because, for me, it's just one of those things where I was like, well, I've been interested in it for a long time, very curious. And so because I was curious, I was just like, I'm the type of person, I just dive head in. Like if I'm doing it, I'm doing it. If I'm not, whatever, and that was just kind of my attitude, my approach. And that's just been it. And I found it, I really liked it. And so, and then I've done well in some different areas, and then in some areas I haven't done so well. And so I definitely, I really like it because I mean, anytime you can make more money or you can leverage your time versus money, that's always a win for me. And so I just wanted to go over, I guess, some things that I feel like kind of might help you along your way. So first things first is that we need to know what a stock is. So a stock is basically just, well, let's start with the stock market. So the stock market is just basically this one big umbrella in which people buy and sell stocks. That's it. Just one big umbrella where they buy and sell stocks. So basically look at it like almost like a grocery store. Like look at it like your Food Lion or your Harris Teeter. They just you go in, they got all types of things in there, okay? And you just get what you need, buy what you want, whatever. And that's kind of how it is. It's just one big place where they buy and sell, as it is. So then we have two stock exchanges, okay? And we have two stock exchanges. They're both in New York. We have the New York Stock Exchange and we have the NASDAQ, okay? And they're both in New York. The difference is that the New York Stock Exchange is more like a auction type style floor, and people are involved. The NASDAQ is pretty much automated. They do have market makers, but it's pretty much all automated. And that's the biggest difference between the two. I would like to say one uses people, one kind of doesn't. And one is like an auction style, one is like has a market maker that kind of does a few things in between to kind of match the bidder and the seller up. But but overall it's automated. So the NASDAQ, just so you know, it actually stands for the National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotation. So it tells you that it's automated. And so some of the, I guess, the indices that are under these umbrellas of the New York Stock Exchange, the Dow, under the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ would be the Dow. The Dow Jones, a lot of people hear about the Dow Jones, so they're like, what's the Dow? So the Dow is basically 30 prominent companies. So the Dow is only comprised of 30 prominent companies. So these are the companies that have been around usually for a long time. They're well established. They have pretty big market caps, and they can show that they can be profitable, continue to make revenue, and continue to grow. So an example of that would be like your Walmart, your Coca-Colas, okay? And then under that, also in that same vein, you would also have the S&P 500. So the S stands for standard, the P stands for poor. So it's the Standard and Poor's 500. So it's 500 large companies, okay? And that's how the S&P is comprised. So it's 500 larger companies inside of the S&P 500. They would be like your Teslas, your Googles, and it's very possible that there are companies that are, the companies that are in the Dow are in the S&P as well. These, and they're basically segregate them out because it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, it's more about notoriety. You know, the more popular you are, or we're on the S&P, or we're on the Dow. So it's more about notoriety, in my opinion. And those are usually how they decide. Those companies kind of decide a lot, to me, in my opinion, how the market moves. Those more established companies decide whether the market is doing well. How they respond is tended, and their investors tend to show how the market is responding. And then there are some other things that I feel like they kind of dictate to that as well, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then you have the NASDAQ itself, and your NASDAQ is pretty much, most people known it for the technology companies. So your Facebooks, your Googles, and they're housed inside of the NASDAQ. And so most people know it because they'll say that's the technology sector, you know. So that's what's inside of the NASDAQ. And it has over 2,500 companies, over 25 to 3,000 companies or something like that. It's a lot of companies though. And you have a lot of growth companies that are in those companies as well. So companies that are trying to be up and coming, or companies that are, you know, newer and they've been around, but they aren't as quite as established as your 3Ms and your, you know, Coca-Colas and companies like that. So they're in the NASDAQ. So now, let's talk a little bit about the brokers that we use, or the platforms that we use. So there are a couple of platforms, and I'm just going to tell you from my experience about my experience with the platform. So my very, very first platform was Robinhood. I still have Robinhood, actually. A lot of people have good and bad things to say, but that's not neither here or there with me. So Robinhood, that's who we're going to talk about. So now I will tell you that Robinhood, in my experience, is very user-friendly. If you don't know a lot about a lot of things, or, you know, you don't understand like a lot about a lot, Robinhood is the easiest place to start, to me, in my opinion. And Robinhood's hours, their pre-market is at 9, from 9 to 9:30, and then the market opens at 9:30 and it goes to 4. And then the actual post-market is from 4 to 6. Yep. So yeah, so that's Robinhood. Okay. Another platform that's pretty popular, you probably heard about, is Webull. Yeah, Webull. Webull. So now I have Webull too. The thing that I like a lot about Webull is Webull, you can trade, their trading hours are bananas. Like that's the one thing I do love about Webull. Their pre-market starts at 4:30 in the morning. So 4:30 in the morning, yeah, imagine that. When I first started, I'm like getting on Robinhood, and I'm like, how do people get all into all this stuff? And I couldn't get into all this. Like, how does that work? And that's because people were using Webull, and they were in the pre-market and Webull at 4:30 in the morning. So by the time I got on at 9 o'clock, I had done missed all the run up, and I was missing big profits. And I couldn't have it, so I had to go and get me a Webull. So I like Webull because they're from 4:30 to 8 o'clock, of course, with the market, of course, 9:30 to 4, and everything in between. Before that is pre, everything after that is post. So they have big pre and post hours, which I really like. To me, as a really big benefit. Let's talk about Fidelity and TD Ameritrade. So the thing that I like about these brokerages is that, or these platforms, is that they also allow you to, they have OTC. So OTC is what they call over the counter stocks. So basically these stocks don't have a centralized brokerage. So it's just basically a lot more risky, a lot of less regulations because they're not housed in one centralized location. These are usually your penny stocks and stuff, your penny stocks to me. So these are usually your riskier, high risk, high rewards type stocks. So I like it, and I have an account just for OTC. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I have done, what has worked for me. Okay, and what I am currently doing. And so Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, they'll allow you to trade OTC, but be wise. Look up what you searching for and all those things like that. Okay. But that's a different store for a different day, but they do allow you to trade OTC. Okay. And so those are, I feel like, some of the popular ones. And then there's some other ones like E-Trade. A lot of people talk about E-Trade. It's a new one out, Moo. I don't know much about that. So it's a lot of platforms. You just have to decide which one is best for you and what your benefit is. Okay. But I just wanted to provide you with some of the ones that I knew that were pretty popular and stuff like that. So now we were talking a little bit earlier about things that we felt like that kind of fluctuated or caused the market to move or not move. So of course, with all that's going on right now, war, we're on the verge of war, and however that's going to shake down. So war is always a big market mover. So the market can either dive or plunge. Okay. Could either jump or go down. And typically in wartime, it goes down initially and then it responds very well. So in war, don't let anybody fool you. Most of the time in war, the market does very well. Now, initially, it takes a big hit, but in the long run, it responds very well during wartime. So, but my thing is, I don't want us going to war, but it is what it is. All I can do is say my prayers and hope that God be with us all and that it's de-escalated before it even starts, because nobody ever wants anybody to have to lose their life or to be on the front line of anybody's battle, trying to protect the country all over so many different issues, And so, but wartime fluctuates the market. Inflation, stocks, bonds fluctuate the market. And one of the ways you can do the consumer price index, CPI, those are released usually every month. And they'll play big parts in the in what the market is doing. CPI, I think they're released every month. Don't quote me on that. I think they are released every month though. The CPI, and then the FOMC meetings, what the federal Jerome Powell has to say. What he has to say, they dictate what the market does, how they're going to handle, the budgets, how they handle inflation, how what they're going to do with the balance sheets. All of those things affect the market. And so these are things that I did not know. And so here I am out there thinking, I learned a few things, a little bit about charting and stuff like that. And I think I'm out here dangerous. And it's like, why did the market drop? Yeah, because our bond rate went through the roof. So you want to know what's a good, what's a good bond rate, and you want to know what our inflation should be. So I mean, these are things I didn't know, and I'm hoping that they'll help you so that you don't make the same mistakes I did, because all of those things kind of tie into what's going on in the world and how our markets respond. And I think that's pretty much it for today. I will try to link all of the brokers that I use below. If you're interested, sign up. They give you free stock. Don't let anybody tell you different. They usually give me free stock and you free stock. So I will link before if you're interested to signing up, whatever. Fidelity doesn't do that. They don't do that, but Robinhood and Webull, they do give you free stocks. And I think that's always pretty cool. You get something free for signing up. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. And I'm drinking my burdock root tea. And I think that's enough for today. You don't want to give too much on the first day. It's just too much, right? But that's what I'm talking about today. I told you I was just going to talk about things that were near and dear to me. And that's something that's near and dear to me where I went wrong because I didn't know a lot of stuff. Okay. I still don't know a lot of stuff, but I really didn't know some of those things. And so, look out for those things. And if you hear people talk about those things, then you kind of know what they're talking about and why they're important. And research everything that I'm telling you now. It's on Google. You don't have to take my word for it. Look it up. Well, people, happy Friday. I love you guys. I'll be talking to you real soon.